Welcome back, folks. We've already gone through how to make a line or segment, a circle, how to copy and bisect that segment. Bisect means to cut in half. In fact, we learned about the perpendicular bisector, which means to cut it in half at 90 degrees. All these we've already done in the previous video. If you don't have notes on them or haven't tried them out yourself, then go back. Now we're going to learn how to copy and bisect an angle. To start off, we need an angle. So let's get over here. We're going to learn how to copy an angle. Here's an angle. Remember, it's made of two rays joined at a common, what is this point called? It's a vertex. Yes, this point is called a vertex. So when we want to copy the angle, what we're going to do is we need both our straight edge and our compass for this process. For the first thing, I'm just going to need to make a line segment. It really doesn't matter where. So I'll make a line segment, and that'll be my copy of the bottom. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take our compass, and we're going to mark out an arc, a section of a circle that goes through both pieces. And we're gonna do that same thing down here. Now notice it doesn't go through both sections yet because we don't know where that other half is supposed to go yet, the other ray. But how do we figure that out? Well, we'll make this. See how I'm taking one dot, the center point of the compass, and I'm putting it on one side. And then on the other side, I'm aligning with the other. I'm gonna make a cross there so that you can see that the arc goes through at the correct dot. That means that these two are the correct distance apart. You don't wanna make this any further or closer than the distance between those two intersection points. Place the dot back up here and cross them. And then you have your little intersection point. And I can now take this point and my original point and connect the two so that I now have the vertex and the other ray. That wasn't quite right. You see how you might need to make slight changes. That's perfectly okay. And now this angle at the bottom is exactly the same as this angle at the top. They might have different lengths, but the amount of degrees inside of them is exactly the same because the distance along that arc is equal. All right, so that is how we copy an angle. How do we now bisect the angle? Let's make another one.
Happy belated. What is your birthday today? Yesterday? Oh, it was yesterday? Happy belated again.
Sorry, folks, I should have closed the door. Doesn't matter. Okay, so here we go. We have an angle. We're gonna bisect that angle. To bisect the angle, we're gonna do the same process as before, where we take any length we want and just make a section, an arc of a circle. And now we're gonna draw a perpendicular bisector to this segment. I'm gonna draw this nice and light because we don't really need it. I tried to draw it nice and light. But that segment right there, if we can bisect that, cut it in half, then we'll have a bisector of the angle. So to bisect the, this, we're gonna do what we learned in the previous video. If you don't remember how to bisect a segment, then go back and watch that video on bisecting a segment. I start off by making one arc, go to the opposite end, make my second arc, and then I have 2 points of crossing, 2 intersection points. Let's zoom in because that might be really light here. We've got an intersection point here and an intersection point here. Draw my line segment to go through both of those. You can see mine's a little bit off here. And if you're doing that and you get a little bit off and you're not sure exactly where it's going to be, try redrawing. But you don't need to be super exact, entirely precise. You want to be as precise as possible with the tools that you have. And right here, I can see that I've now cut this into 2 equal parts. So I have bisected the angle. Took in the original angle, and I have cut it in half, 2 equal parts.